It's been years since I've seen you, years since I've held you, years since I've told you I love you. It's been years since I've seen you, years since I've held you, years since I've told you I love you. And I know we can't get back the time, but the future's yet to come. And we ain't gonna ever solve anything if you see life through a gun. But don't throw up your arms, make like a coward and run away. We can end all this today. Hold on to love, hold on
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit early, but that's okay. I have to say, welcome to Carter's Corner, 10th of June. That's just a Yep, I did update it. Cool. All right, so I just want to say sorry about yesterday. Obviously, I wasn't streaming. We had a few issues. Had to deal. Domestic violence is very, very. So we've been dealing with that one. So, and it's a little bit sad how it turns out. A lot of people got to understand domestic violence isn't just physical violence. There's a lot of mental abuse that goes on as well. So I was helping him and preserving her privacy. Anyway, so let's kick this one off now. It is 1:30, 10th of June. This is Travis Carter for Corner Daily, except yesterday. So what we'll cover yesterday's as well. There's only 2 press releases in the morning yesterday, so it would have been a really, really quick show. There's been 3 all up yesterday and this morning, so we'll probably get a couple more this afternoon. Looks like Sue Ellery has been getting into it a bit. We'll have a look, see what she has to say. The first one that we're going to kick off with, though, is from, I hate saying the honourable for this guy, John Quigley, MLA, the Attorney General. So let's go see what he's got to say for himself. Let's see. Principal Registrar STRK named a Supreme Court judge. Brooke. Is that a typo? I don't think so. Okay, so it looks like Quigley's blowing his trumpet a little bit in this one. Attorney General appoints Larissa Strzok. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a family name with no vowels in it. Strzok, maybe. Judge of the Supreme Court, Principal Registrar, has served as an acting judge during a 5-year term. Appointee was a highly regarded practitioner in financial litigation. So Attorney General John Quigley has appointed Principal Registrar Larissa Strzok. I apologise if I'm not pronouncing that right. As Judge of the Supreme Court of West Australia, so we've got another Supreme Court, which is good. Hopefully they'll start cutting back on the backlog. Ms. Strzok has been Principal Registrar for the Supreme Court since 2016. During that time, she has also served terms as an acting judge and acting Master of the Supreme Court. Before joining the court, Ms. Strzok was a legal practitioner for over 18 years, becoming a partner of international law firm King and Wood Mallesons. She practiced in the firm's dispute resolution group and performed leadership roles in programs concerning equality and diversity and mentoring. We just had to get a Supreme Court that's got training and education in equality and diversity. So just that term alone, equality. So there's 2 types of equality: equality of outcome and equality of opportunity. Doesn't matter which form of equality you create, there's always going to be a form of discrimination. So, yeah, more virtual signaling for something that doesn't need to be signaled. Supreme Court judges should be ruling purely 100% based on fact. This is stupid. I wonder if she's going to be ruling in favour of equality over fact. So that's going to be interesting. Having a woke Supreme Judge is going to be problematic. Anyway, so Ms. Strzok also played a significant part in programs. The University of Western Australian Law graduate appointment brings to 5 the number of women judges in the Supreme Court. Again, who cares? Stop labelling people. Stop doing quotas. Now, my question is, if they're bragging about bringing 5 women judges in, Now, hopefully, she got in based on her own merit, her own talent, and achievements. Did they discriminate against someone purely because they weren't? There's someone more qualified to do the job who didn't get the job purely because of the accident of their birth, their gender at birth. So that's what I want to know. I'd love to see, and we'll never get this. They'll never release it. I'd love to see who was also in the running to become a Supreme Court judge, and why did they not get the job? Did they not get the job because they were not a woman? Sexism, discrimination. Okay, so comments from the Attorney General. I congratulate Larissa Stroke. I think that is how you spell her name, because I can't see him having a typo 5 or 6 times. Larissa Stroke on her well-deserved appointment at the Supreme Court. Yeah, I'm questioning whether this is a well-deserved appointment purely because of this comment here. Ms. Sturrock is well qualified for the role, having been a judicial officer for the court for 5 years, including an 8-month stint as an acting judge. Just because someone is qualified to do the job doesn't mean they are the best person for the job. The best person for the job should be the one getting the job, and that will breed a culture of excellence within whatever department you're in, and it will help people who could be just coasting along, like, yeah, I've got into this role, I'm happy, I'm not doing push. It could be the motivating factor to separate the cream from the rest. So this could bring them like pushing. You're not going to get a promotion unless you're the best at your role. That should be motivation enough for the cream of the cream, like the absolute brilliant people within each industry to say, you know what, if I work hard and I'm the best at the role, I will achieve great things. If you're starting to put gender quotas and stuff like that in, it's like, as a man, if there's a gender quota on saying that, right, out of the next 20 positions, we've got to put 18 as women to level out the numbers, why would any male push hard when they know a whole heap of subpar people going to get the job over them purely because of the accident of their gender at birth? And that's one of the reasons why I think pushing that whole equality thing is crap. It should be purely based on merit and performance. Now, Miss Sturrock could have excelled in her role as an acting judge for that 8-month stint. She could have done an absolute phenomenal role. And I hope she did. And I hope this is an appointment of the best person for the job. Knowing Quigley and some of the instructions he's passed on to the Geraldton police, I highly doubt it. But anyway, that's my opinion. Don't like it, go away. Before then, she has a highly regarded practitioner. She was a highly regarded practitioner in commercial litigation, particularly in insolvency, corporate restructuring, and banking. Ms. Sturrock brings a wealth of experience to hearing commercial matters as a Supreme Judge. Okay. So, yeah, bit of fluff. I think it's Quigley was feeling left out, so he's just like, oh, let's do one. Let's see. There's lots of things he could be doing press releases on, but I don't know. But again, my love for the Honourable John Quigley is non-existent. He's in the prime position to fix the family law court, and it's a very, very small thing he has to do. All he has to do is saying perjury in the family law court, where all courts will now be actioned. If he starts doing that, all those people that are lying to try and get custody of the kids or lying in court to try and prevent one parent from seeing their children, all of a sudden, all these people are going to get absolutely destroyed and they'll stop doing it. But when you're not punishing a crime, which is I have not heard of a family law court judge that has actioned any perjury, whether it's against male or female. Just it does not happen. I have not spoken to anyone dealing with a family law court where haven't got evidence that the other person is lying through their teeth. And that's not a male versus female thing. So just across the board, both male and females are coming up with these evidence saying, what do I do with this? And unfortunately, the answer at the moment is there's nothing you can do because they refuse to action perjury within. It's still a crime. They just refuse to do anything. So Moving on, we've now got, and this was the other one that came through about 9:30 yesterday. So we have, I actually don't mind this guy too much, the Honourable David Templeman, MLA Minister for Tourism. He seems to be trying to work hard. He's kind of staying out of the whole identity politics sort of things. But Tony Booty, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, I'm on the fence with him. We'll see. Okay, tickets on sale for Perth Bledisloe Cup Blockbuster. Okay, so this is a sporting event with New Zealand. Tickets now on sale for the 2021 Bledisloe Cup match at Optus Stadium on August 21. Perth game and Australian exclusive for 2021. Game secured by Perth by the state government through Tourism WA. Rugby union fans around Australia and New Zealand can snap up tickets from 10 a.m. today, so that was yesterday, at Perth Bledisloe Cup 2 Perth Bledisloe Cup test on the August 21st at Optus Stadium. Tickets prices from $49 and available through wallabies.rugby. Will give fans a chance to witness the only Bledisloe test to be played on Australian soil this year. The Bledisloe Cup is one of the world's biggest sporting rivalries, contested annually by the Australian and New Zealand rugby national rugby union teams, Wallabies and the All Blacks. So pretty much, I think the All Blacks actually have it over the Australian team at the moment. But yeah, I'm not a big rugby person. What I see is a guy gets a ball, he runs, he gets tackled, he puts it on the ground, and then someone kicks it out of bounds. And then the person who kicks it out of bounds gets the ball back and they get to throw it in again. And I know you got to get it past the line, but the bits getting it from where you are to the line, I don't get rugby. Some people don't get AFL, each to their own. Call it aerial ping pong, because that's pretty much. I consider rugby, you just get the ball, put your head down, run your head straight into a brick wall, and eventually you get a point and win. Lose. Okay, so Perth 2019 Bledisloe was a winner for fans, tourism, and WA economy. The Games holds the sporting events attendance record for Optus Stadium with more than 61,000 people witnessing Wallabies' decisive win over the All Blacks. Oh, okay, we actually won. Good work. It'll be interesting to see of that 61,000 how many we actually get because of COVID, travel restrictions. Nearly 7,400 visitors from outside the state travelled to Perth for the occasion, spending more than $12.5 million. More than 1.85 million viewers across the national and the tourism WA key international markets, including New Zealand, tuned into the television broadcast for the match. Now, a lot of people don't realise rugby is massive in UK, France, Italy, South Africa, the Springboks. They just love this. And Australia and New Zealand for a very, very long time have always been in the top 5 teams nationally. So it's always going to be a good game. So if you do enjoy your rugby, make sure you tune in or try and get some tickets to it, because Optus Stadium does hire an insane amount of people. A lot of them are casuals. A lot of these people lost their jobs during COVID. So getting as many people to this event as possible will help to the people that are struggling out. To mark today's ticket release, Optus Stadium will be lit up tonight in the gold colours of the Wallabies jerseys. Perth 2019 and 2021 Bledisloe Cup matches were secured by Perth by the state government through Tourism WA in partnership with Rugby Australia. So Rugby Australia is my understanding the people who fired Israel Folau. So it'll be interesting to see if Israel can get through enough club games to warrant selection to the Australian team. Now that would be hilarious if Israel Folau can actually get into the as a player, not as a spectator. Okay, so comments from Minister David Temple. So this is the tourism minister. Coughing a lot today. The Bledisloe Cup is a proven draw card for rugby fans to visit our state, and I encourage them to act quickly to get their hands on tickets and book a longer stay in WA. That will always be helpful. As well as all the on-field sporting action in our vibrant city, they can enjoy more of WA has to offer, including the warmth and wilderness of the state's north, or the vineyards and forests of the Margaret River region. We're also expecting tickets to be snapped up by West Australians who are in the box seat for this match, with all the action right here in their own backyard for the Bledisloe Test on Australian soil this year. Okay, comment from Booty, Minister for Sports and Recreation. All eyes will be on our state when this great sporting rivalry returns to Perth. Based on the sellout success of WA's first Bledisloe Cup in 2019, I'm predicting a great response to the tickets releases for this year's WA's game. The Bledisloe Cup is elite level union at its finest, and the opportunity to witness it in person here in the West will be a huge draw card for aspiring players, fans, family alike. Now, one thing I have to do give credit to rugby fans. I used to live in Subiaco, rented an apartment there with my ex-wife, and so one of the things that happened was whenever there was an Eagles or Dockers game, there was always drama. There was fights, there was alcohol thrown, there was just every single time the spectators got into it, they were just a real nuisance. We were lucky we were a couple of floors off the ground, so it didn't affect us too much, but you could hear it, like even with the double glazed windows and all that, you'd still hear it. 2 o'clock in the morning, people are fighting, sirens are going. We never had that problem whenever rugby was on. Rugby fans are huge generalisation here. They still get drunk and paralytic and all that, make a nuisance of themselves, but they don't get violent. Or if they do get violent, it's like a one hit and it's done. So I've always had a lot more enjoyment with the rugby crowds than I have with the AFL crowds, unfortunately. But yeah, but also the rugby, they jump onto recreational drugs a lot harder than what the AFL has been doing in the past. So that's a big shout out to Rugby Australia. Well done. Now, as for the press release, it's just advertising again. Nothing really in it. Bit of fluff. I think it will probably start getting more of these advertising press releases as the federal election comes closer. It's free advertising for them. They put into press release. They get budgets, allowances, and all that sort of stuff. So it's like free advertising that taxpayers pays for. It's one of the reasons why sitting in the election always has a better chance of re-winning a seat, especially during a pandemic or a lockdown. Changing seats is kind of rare. The WA election we just had is a freak show. For a political party to have that sort of a whitewash. All right, so we do have a bit of a federal one coming up. So I'm just going to pull that one up. So this one is from the Honourable Paul Fletcher, MLP, Minister for Communication, Urban Infrastructure, Cities and Arts. So Paul is a Liberal member of Parliament. Now this is where it's really, really important. So this is Paul's press release, and he's doing it in conjunction with the Honourable Rita Saffioti, Minister for Transport, Planning and Ports for the Labor Party, WA Labor State Government. Okay, so Edith Cowan University awards 5 major contracts, multi-dollar Perth City deal milestone. Interesting. So the Australian and Western Australian governments have today welcomed Edith Cowan ECU. So ECU Joondalup was where Carter's Corner was. So 89.7 FM actually hires a studio off ECU. That's how they broadcast ECU. That is a consortium. Start again. The Australian and West Australian government have today welcomed ECU University announcement that a consortium of leading local, national and international architects will design the $695 million ECU City campus. Okay, so this is for the construction of the new university. I'm kind of find it strange why ECU is awarding it. Anyway, Australian architectural firm Lyons, in partnership with Perth-based Silver Thomas Henley and international architects Hayworth Tompkins, have been announced as the successful design team for the ECU City campus, the centrepiece of the Perth City deal. The appointment is one of the largest contracts to date to come from the $1.5 billion Perth City deal announced last year, which brings together all 3 levels of government to help secure the long-term prosperity, livability of Perth and a vibrant city centre. Now, a bit of news on that one. Perth has just been awarded more livable Melbourne and Sydney, which is massive. It's huge. Problem is now, because we are in the most livable city in the world, all the costs of everything is going to go up again. And how long will it be before we're the most expensive in WA? Everyone complains that Sydney and Melbourne are really expensive. Try paying your power bills over here. Stupid. The consortium has already begun to design the ECU City Campus, which will be West Australia's first comprehensive university campus situated in the CBD. Sheridan College. I thought they were considered a university. They're based in where are they? Northbridge. Might be Northbridge. Augusto Zimmerman of Sheridan College. He's the former law reform commissioner. It was between 2012 2017. Brilliant person, absolute brilliant person. Does some really great articles. So if you want to have a look at the laws and the lockdowns, the COVID injection, all that sort of stuff, he's done some amazing books during the COVID period. I've actually got one. So he edited. Sorry about that. A bit of a plug for a friend of mine. Fundamental Rights in the Age of COVID-19, Augusto Zimmerman. So he's actually the editor of this book. Very well worth the read. There's some very, very amazing people have written articles and stuff in this one. So he's gone through, done it. Make sure you get yourself a book. And this is just sort of like showboating a little bit here. Boom. So yeah, so Augusto is a phenomenal writer. He's got so many books. Really, really does a great job. So make sure you go out there. Fundamental Rights in the Age of COVID-19. So it gets right down into the constitutional law side of things. So they do have a law university. I think it might be actually classed as Northbridge. It's the Sheridan College. So if you are looking to study law, make sure you look up Sheridan College. Let's have a look at Lyons and Silver. Thomas Henley have an extensive background in collaborating on award-winning major universities and research building projects. Lyons is recognised for its design at leading city-based universities, including RMIT in Melbourne and the flagship STEM precinct of the University of Newcastle. Perth-based architects Silverthorne Henley designed ECU Joondalup Science Building. Oh, really? That's one of the ugliest buildings I've ever seen. Featuring the world's largest periodic table. Oh, yay, wow. Also appointed is global engineering company Stantec, which is the lead engineering for the civil, structural and building services. Stantec is recognised for many Perth landmarks, including Elizabeth Quay, the Western Perth. So if these guys are responsible for the civil side of things for all these buildings, are they the ones that were responsible for importing asbestos in the ceilings? I'll have to check that one. Marshall Day will carry out the city campus acoustic engineering following its successful delivery of Optus stadiums. Urbis will lead on town planning. Optus Stadium, I have to give credit. The sound on that place is phenomenal. Yeah, I can't argue that one. They did a good job. Okay, one of Australia's largest providers of quality surveying, Donald Ant Watts Walk is already working on the site. Okay, international firm Hayworth Tompkins is celebrated for its cutting-edge creation in performance space, including the revitalisation of the National Theatre in London. Oh, okay, might be worth getting these guys in. By the sounds of it, they're the world's best. So, yeah. The $695 million ECU City Campus is jointly funded by the Australian Government committing $145 million, the Western Australian Government committing $150 million, and ECU $300 million. That's a little bit alarming that a private entity can supply more for our education than what our state government can. I'm one of those. God, I've been called a greenie for this before. I personally think education should be budgetless. But what I mean by that is if you've got a school, and let's say the school is getting overpopulated because the population is growing at an exponential rate, and the class sizes are getting too big, there should be a decision made. Right, we need more classrooms for this school. This is the plans. Get the plans approved. Just go and build it. Get the teachers' assistants. We need to be pumping a crapload more money into our education and health than what we actually are. Now, that's not to say that we just throw the money out and hope it works. We also need to make sure that there's efficiency guidelines and transparency on the back of it to prevent corruption and wastage of money. But I think we really like super need to be focusing on the education of our youth to the point where all sides of politics is taught in high school, pros and cons for each of them. Australian history needs to be taught in schools. I think the native languages, whatever region the school's in, needs to be taught. So I'm in Perth, so at school we should be learning Noongar. So there's so much that's not happening at our school level that needs to be done, and I think a lot of it is lack of funding. Anyway, the new campus will attract 9,200 students and staff by 2025, growing to over 11,000 students and staff by 2034. Construction will begin in 2021, and the campus will open in 2025. Details of the campus you can have a look here. Okay, so comment from Paul Fletcher. Now, this is where I want you guys to pay attention. So have a listen to the comments from Paul Fletcher, and then have a listen to the comments from Rita Saffioti. Okay, so you don't see a real difference. I find the Liberal federal government on the doing press releases, the person actually doing the press release knows a lot more about what they're actually talking about, and then we'll see. This major project will help drive economic growth in Perth by supporting over 3,000 construction jobs and creating more than 380 jobs. So over 3,000 jobs created by this. The new ECU campus will not only bring together students, teachers and experts across a range of select sectors to foster learning and research, but it will be an important feature in the city's cultural landscape, create flow on economics benefits for local businesses, and improve the city's vibrancy. I'm not a big fan of flow on economics, honest with you. But anyway, that's for another video. The Morrison government's record spending on infrastructure includes our investment in 1.5 billion Perth City deal is central to our plans to drive Australia's world-leading economic recovery. So, a couple of things to digest on this one. 3,000 jobs, 338 ongoing jobs. So a lot of that's going to be like service jobs. Flow-on effect on the economy, and it's sort of a buzzword at the moment. Bit of a promo for Scott Morrison's 1.5 billion city deal. Okay, so a bit of detail in there, pretty good. Still a bit of an advertising thing. Let's go jump over onto Rita Saffiotti's. The Perth City deal will help re-energise the city and encourage more people back into the Perth CBD. We are pleased to partner with the Australian Government, City of Perth and ECU to deliver this state-of-the-art university campus right in the middle of the CBD. We anticipate that campus will bring more than 8,000 students to the city from day one, creating flow-on economic benefits for the local business. I look forward to seeing the design of the campus develop and take shape. Okay, so about the only details I actually really gave here was the 8,000 students. Again, she's using the buzzword of flow-on economics, but there's nothing else really here. It's more very generic information. The reason I'm bringing this to your awareness, it seems that the Liberal Party, whenever they do things like this, they seem to be aware of what's going on, how it's going to benefit the local economy, and it seems the ministers have a more hands-on approach. They're actually actively doing something with this, where the comments from the Western Australian Labor guys seems to be like, I've got a rough idea what it is, and here's a few buzzwords to make it sound like I'm talking about. And it seems to happen every single time there's a Labor joint press release. I'm wondering, again, I'm curious as to who actually wrote this. It'll be interesting to see. Now, let's have a look at the Federal Senator for Western Australia, Ben Small. I have a feeling we might get a few more buzzwords and nothing else out of this. The Morrison government's Perth City deal is changing the face of our city forever. The imperative to diversify our economy has never been stronger, and this is a key investment in Perth that will allow West Australians to build our state economic future with our trademark tenacity. Imperative to The imperative to diversify our. I think that might be a typo. I would have said it's imperative. Anyway, doesn't really make sense, but that's okay. It could be just my English is terrible. I do suffer a bit of dyslexia every now and then. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so a comment from the ECU Vice Chancellor, Professor Steve Chapman. This might be interesting. Lecturer, he's he dribbled on the most considering he's a professor. The ECU campus will be transformational, not only for our university, students and staff, but for Perth. The new campus will represent the future of university education, one of the state's largest and most exciting building projects. Lions, in partnership with Silver Thomas Henley and Hayworth Tompkins, will bring a combination of local knowledge, design leadership, renowned expertise, and world-leading specialist capabilities that will capture our ambition and ensure the seamless delivery of the project. We are looking forward to these extraordinary minds not only conceptualizing the delivery of this unique project. I'm proud to say there are 23 Australian companies involved in this project, and the vast majority are Perth-based companies. That's really, really good. It's a shame none of these guys, the politicians, actually brought that up. We're delighted to have them on board and offering their skills and capabilities to this transformational project. The campus will be constructed on 2 lots adjacent Yargan Square, and will bring new life to the city with an estimated 1.5 billion economic output across the next 4 years, delivering more than 7.5 billion to the WA economy in the longer term. Wow, we actually have the press release details for Liberal Fletcher. Normally that gets left off. I'm kind of surprised that the ECU guy also put his details down there as well, which is kind of cool. So I'm actually really, really excited about this. I'm a strong believer that the best way to improve a country as a whole is to make sure the education and the health systems are up and running properly. I hate to say it, the 600 and where is it? I think it was 695 million. Up here somewhere. Yeah, 695 million. I hate to say it, for the size of this campus, may not be enough. I can see this blowing out possibly up to the $800 million mark. There's going to be a lot of delays, a lot of problems with this one. Getting it done in that time frame, I think, is going to be very, very tight. I think a proportion of it will be ready, but to have the university completed by the time frame that they put out, I think it will probably end up being 12 months behind schedule. And that's provided all the equipment comes to Australia in a timely fashion, because they have to. We don't manufacture anything in Australia anymore, so things like plastered walls, the metal for the structure, all that sort of stuff's got to come from overseas. Unfortunately, a vast majority of the metal for this project will probably come from China, because we don't have any steel refining in WA going on. What I'd love to see for the state government to do is outsource to possibly Vietnam. Vietnam has a very large steel manufacturing industry. I would love to see Australia stop ordering stuff from China for these major construction jobs. But, when that tied to China is like trying to cut your arm off, it's just not going to work. Anyway, so that one's not too bad. Of the comments between Liberal and Labor, I still think the Liberal guy, Paul Fletcher, a lot more about what was going on, what the Labor guys did. And between the two of them, they got absolutely smashed by this Professor Steve Chapman. So I hate to say it, I think ECU was a better politician in this. So anyway, we've got 2 to go. It's now 2:04, so we better wrap this one up pretty quickly because I do have to get the daughter from school. So we've got 2 now from the Minister for Education and Training. It seems to be a very education-focused press release over the last couple of days. Here we go. Just let me pull this one up for you. So this is the first one from today. So new initiative to make it easier for skilled up workers to find jobs. I'm always keen for people to find jobs. The best source of welfare is a job. So this is Sue Ellery, MLC, Minister for Education and Training. All right, let's have a look at free online job matching platform for job ready program graduates introduced. So they're trying to push everything online again. Job ready brickies, aspiring tradies and disability workers now eligible. Interesting. Gown government focused on helping workers connect with WA employers is called paper or seek.com. The Gown government today launched a free online platform to connect job ready workers with the growing list of job opportunities available in Western Australia with the Western Australian employees. Job Ready Connect is exclusively available to job ready program graduates and participating WA employees. This will help graduates through the creation of an online profile highlighting their skills, experience, qualifications, and accreditations without the need of a resume. So it just seems like they're trying to get more information to people and put people online through government systems. Not a big fan of that. And it's not the apps I'm worried about. It's not the safety side of things like that. The state government, the federal government, even the regional, the state councils, their track record for securing your personal information is diabolical. It's really bad. A lot of people don't understand how much your personal information is. It's worth an insane amount of money. If they can get 3 primary identifiers, they can actually take finance out under. Once the finance is done, they've got control of the asset. If they turn around and lose the asset, you're stuck with that debt, and it can really screw you over. They can buy houses with cars. They can buy foreign exchange things, buy different currencies. It's used a lot in money laundering. So the government needs to really up their game when it comes to cybersecurity. I have to say, they're dismal. They're very, very bad. Prime example. Okay, so with the check-ins, WA Safe or whatever it's called, the app that you use to scan into locations. I don't have it. I sign in. Reason behind it is within about a month of the app coming out, the health department actually published a person's entire medical history legally. Nothing happened to them. So, and things like that can be used to gain access into other accounts. So that person, their whole entire profile become vulnerable. So moving on. By registering on Job Ready Connect, they love the word connect. Employees can easily and securely search for and connect with candidates who have skills and experiences they require. Job Ready courses were introduced by the McGowan government as part of the suite of training initiatives designed to support stimulus measures in WA economy recovery following COVID-19. The courses are designed to provide participants with an entry-level skill and the industry experience employees are looking for in areas experiencing a high workforce demand. With Job Ready courses currently offered in aging and disability, bricklaying and civil construction infrastructure, the graduates of these courses will be first users for the platform. Employers in these sectors are encouraged to register the details to start connecting with job-ready candidates who are motivated to gain work and further skills in these areas. I'm a little bit concerned about this because there's still some cowboys out there who run cash-based businesses. They get people in cash. I find this is just another way that the government is trying to encourage people to put everything online and to try and remove. I call it personal transactions, like cash transactions, where it's from one person to the next without using any third party. So if let's say you go down to the shops and you want to buy some groceries, so you're using the bank as a third party by employing people through the government. I'm just it doesn't sit well with me. Something tells me there's something wrong here. It feels to me like they're trying to make sure they're trying to watch every aspect and control every single aspect of your life and your business. And I'm not a big fan of this, to be honest with you. I will never use this job skills, job ready connect. Comments attributed to Education and Training Minister Sue Ellery. The McGowan government's investment in infrastructure projects and support is supporting the state's economic recovery and creating a pipeline of work and jobs for West Australians. Job Ready Connect will take the new training pathways to employment provided by the Jobs Ready pilot program a step further, helping graduates find jobs with employers. But it also doesn't tell you that the government's going to be spying on everything you do while you're at it. With opportunities to work in key sectors growing across metropolitan and regional WA, it's a great time for job-ready graduates to connect with employers and get to work. I agree with that. There's a lot of information that they're keeping out of this. It's a very, very one-sided press release. Again, I find Sue Ellery to be very untrustworthy. I like that she's trying to push more training, more jobs. That's a good thing. But trying to spy on everyone by having a job ready program for something that's not required, you shouldn't have it. Your relationship between yourself and your employer should be a relationship between the staff and the boss. And if there's a problem, you should be able to go to your boss and say, hey, I'm not happy about this. We need to fix it. You sit down, you have a chat, you fix it. If you can't, then you get the union. Having the government spying on you when you've got a job, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm kind of wondering, are they trying to make this link to MyGov account as well? They seem every single time you do anything with the government, it's like, oh, what's your MyGov ID? So I'm not a big fan of that. And the final press release, actually have some pictures on this one. Let's go have a look at the press release first, and then we'll go have a look at. I do need to make sure they're Twitch safe pictures first. All right, here we go. So again, Sue Ellery, Minister for Education and Training. So this is probably about a school. Here we go. Designs revealed for impressive Carneen Senior High School redevelopment. Artist impressions have revealed for the multi-million-dollar major redevelopment of Carneen Senior High School. The $32 million state-of-the-art facility will modernise the look of the school and provide cutting-edge educational spaces. The redevelopment includes new classrooms, a sport hall, and additional facilities for science, technology, and mathematics. Really good that they've got a really big focus on the basics. So mathematics, engineering, science, technology. So that's the STEMs class. Nearly every single job is purely based around these things. So you must have a major focus on that side of things. Construction is expected to start in November 1. Education and Training Minister Sue Ellery has provided insight into the $32 million major redevelopment of Carneen Senior High School by revealing artist impressions of the new facility. The design details the massive project that will provide an award-winning school with new general classrooms, a sports hall, additional facilities for science, food technology, and tea. Architects T&Z were appointed to design the redevelopment in November of 2020. Construction is expected to start in November. Anticipated that the facility will be completed by mid-2023. This project will support an estimated 150. I wonder how many extra classes they can do. Enrollments at Carneen Senior High School continue to grow as local families are drawn to the school's high achievements, initiative learning programs, and state-of-the-art facilities. The redevelopment will create space for an additional 600 students. There we go. The unprecedented major schools upgrade package totaling $409.2 million includes $319.2 million of new funding for upgrades and refurbishments at 63 schools around the state, stimulating economic growth and supporting around 1,800 jobs. Now, one school that is in major need of an upgrade, they've just done the roof on it, is Kelmscott High School. Not only do they need an upgrade on the building facilities, they also need more teachers and teachers' assistants. So this is one that I've complained about this program before. The problem I have with this is the school itself was doing phenomenally well. Like that, they were getting very, very good results. The teachers were amazing. I don't think this money. How much was it? $32 million. There's so many more projects and so many more schools out there that are really, really struggling and they're getting left behind because there's so much focus on these major schools. Not too. I like the fact that they're building it. I like the fact that they're giving them the facilities to really excel at what they're doing, but they're leaving a lot of the other people behind. So yes, still do it, but we need to allocate money to the other schools that are falling. Not just money for the facilities, we also need money for teachers' assistants, extra teachers, extra support staff for the teachers. When I go to teachers' events, a family member of mine is in the education department, so I do get to go to these every now and then, and I do talk to the teachers. And universal across the board, number one complaint from all teachers is one, no support from the admin staff, no support from the education department, and the classes are too big. And when you do have a teacher's assistants in the classroom, teacher's assistants only focus on one child. They don't help all, even if the child who is assigned the teacher's assistant doesn't need. There's a lot of people who, now again, some people do need one-on-one teaching the whole way through. Very, very bad autism, Burgess. There's a few of those mental problems that are very, very bad. But a lot of these schools, they just have kids that are just on the spectrum. So as long as you can get them to focus, like, okay, if you do this homework, it's going to help you with whatever their trigger is, they'll do it. They're not a problem. 5 minutes later, they're working, they need a little bit of help, they can ask questions and all that, they're fine. But then you get kids who have been eating sugar from 6 o'clock in the morning. They're hyped up, they're disrupting the class, and they need that person to keep them focused. But the education assistant who's there to keep the student focused isn't allowed to help that child because they're assigned. I think that's a stupid rule, and I think every single teacher needs a teacher's assistant. Whether it's year 1 or year 12, there should be a teacher's assistant in every single classroom. The classrooms are overloaded. There's so many students. All right, so comments from Education and Training Minister Sue Ellery. I am thrilled we can deliver this upgrade for K'areen and continue to enhance the education offered at this excellent school. And she said it right there, it's an excellent school. So they're doing great without these upgrades. I think a school that is massively struggling, I think money would have been better off. Quality public education is crucial to every community in West Australia. We are committed to building better schools across the state. I would love to see how close the swing between the Labor and Liberals seats are, the ones that are getting money for schools. All right, so comments from Paul Laburn. K'areen is a growing area and the school is popular, so the redevelopment will make sure top-class education remains accessible for families in the community. The school has seen great success over recent years, and these modern facilities will provide students and teachers with new opportunities to extend their teaching and programs. So there's not again, Labor state government, these press releases don't really have a lot in them. They're a lot of fluff. The school is doing phenomenally as it is. It doesn't need help. It'll take it. Like, hey, if someone turned around and said, hey, we want to give you $32 million worth of upgrades, of course you'd take it. The money could have been spent so much better elsewhere. And this is your taxpayers' money that you're losing here. So, again, I don't think Sue Ellery is doing a good job. I think she's pork barreling on this one. Pork barreling is where you give money to a region, hope to win that seat again in the election. I have a feeling that the electorate of K'areen is a swing seat for Labor for the federal party. And if they keep pumping out heaps of money into the local communities, the community more likely, hey, the Labor state government treated us very, very well. We'll vote Labor in this federal election. So I think I have a sneaky suspicion. Anyway, I'm going to call that one it for today. So that was the last press release in today's list. No, actually, I won't call it there because there was a few that coming up. Bear with me. Photo. This is the first one. We go. So that is what the building's going to look like. Yeah, it's not a good-looking building, I have to say. I've done $32 million for that. Might be another picture. Hang on, just with me. Oh wow! I'll show you what I think of this in a moment. She's not done like me for this. Can anyone say jail cells? High-rise office apartments. Oh god, they're ugly. They really are ugly. I wonder how long it's going to take for this section all along here to get covered in graffiti, or this here to get covered in graffiti. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of it. $32 million for that. There's a couple of reasons I don't like it. It's ugly. I just think it's ugly. They put a massive grass area here. See it on this big grass area here. It's just going to be stinking hot. Looks like the sun's coming in from this side, so there's no real shelter for this classroom. This classroom's not crazy hot unless there's a heap of insulation in here. Yeah, there's so much more they could have done. Yeah, they need more. So see these footy goals here? I wonder how many times the football is going to go over this. There's just, yeah, I don't like it. We'll just leave it at that. I think it's a waste of $32 million on this one. So Sue Ellery, sorry, but not sorry. I think you failed on this one. So anyway, it is now 21 minutes past. I've got to go get the daughter from school. So this has been Travis Carter for Carter's Corner Daily. The date today is the 10th, so we did the 9th and the 10th today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, make sure you reach out to SoundCloud if you enjoyed the music at the start of this. This was Alan Greer from Washroom Studios. He supplied all the music for all these videos, so make sure you jump over there, give him a bit of a like and a follow. I'm actually not sure what SoundCloud does on that side of things. But yeah, we've got the Patreon if you want to see more of these videos, so jump over to patreon.com/Carter's Corner. I will be changing the Twitch name on this one because it is my gaming tag, not my personal one. I've still got 4 weeks left to wait until I change it. Or you can jump over to Facebook, Carter's Corner on the Facebook and YouTube. The videos do get put up at a later date. So anyway, guys and girls, I hope you had a wonderful Thursday. Hope you enjoyed listening to these press releases. And if anything comes up, anything you want me to discuss, feel free to send it through to us. Travis Carter, and it's out. Good day.